The Concorde made its first transatlantic flight in 1973, and it was inaugurated the world's first scheduled supersonic service in 1976. Now, British Airways initially flew from London to Bahrain, and Air France flew it from Paris to Rio de Janeiro. Both airlines added regular services to Washington DC, and in its heyday before political issues arose, Concorde was considered the creme de la creme. But one part of the world which did not express any interest for the supersonic plane was the US. Now, with the US being the pioneer in aircraft engineering and carrying the flag of aviation, it's somewhat surprising that they didn't even consider evaluating and welcoming the ultimate queen of the skies into their fleet. And there's a very good reason for it. Now, one of the more bizarre reasons is that the US was jealous of the pioneering marvel of their aircraft. They had to be first to do anything. But knowing that they were beaten by the Russians with their Tupolev 144 and then by the British with the Concorde, this didn't bode too well with the Americans. The US fought against Concorde operating scheduled flights to its airports, and it was considered to be too noisy. However, in the end it was proven that there was hardly any difference in sound between the planes like the DC-8 and the Concorde. Now, when the project was launched, it was built before the fuel crisis of the 1970s. And with the plane featuring 4 turbojets, it consumed a hell of a lot of fuel. But nevertheless, flying it over the Atlantic would have resulted in a very good profit. Now, airlines like Pan Am did express interest in ordering the aircraft, but unfortunately this was short-lived. The cost of fuel started to rise considerably, making flights across the pond very expensive, especially when flying 4-engine aircraft. Now, at the time, Boeing was conducting their research on their own version of a supersonic plane, the Boeing 2707. The company envisioned a future with a fleet of supersonic planes, which would offer class and comfort to the customers and also reduce the flight time. Now, the Boeing company dreamed big, but reality started to kick in, and the project was ultimately cancelled due to it being way too complicated. During this time, Concorde was on the verge of flying passengers. However, the government essentially banned Concorde from flying into JFK over noise and pollution concerns. But many people are correct in assuming that this was only a trick to kill Concorde. Now, was Concorde economical? Well, it wasn't. But was it profitable? Yes, it was. Sometimes economics outweighs other factors, and this is one of the reasons why many of the US carriers didn't catch on. Due to the sonic boom that was created and the amount of fuel that the plane consumed, many European and Middle Eastern countries banned it from flying over their airspace, including most of the Middle East, which would have deprived the airlines of a key market. Also, with the US being a very large piece of land, and every state being within 3 hours of reaching distance from the middle, it would have destroyed the ears of many people. But one key factor is also the price. An average American would have made around $3,000 a month, and the price of a ticket was $10,000 in first class. Now, people preferred low fares over speed, and had the American carriers introduced the plane, then it wouldn't have been successful flying it regional. Now, had the design and build of all supersonic airliners stayed alive, like Concorde, Tupolev 144 and the Boeing 2707, then we would have seen these planes with much better fuel economy and range. We're already witnessing how technology is constantly evolving. This would have made Concorde more airline friendly, having managed to reduce the sonic boom and allowing the plane to fly various places around the world. But nevertheless, one thing is for sure, that aviation has surely taken one step back. So captains, that's the reason as to why Concorde didn't catch on with the US carriers, and to a certain extent, I actually agree with them. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, then give it a like, and I hope to see you in the next one.